number one fan. I'm your number one fan. Gotta understand, I got a plan. Go for what you want, might be what you thought. You gotta take a chance. Gotta understand, I'm your number one fan. Number one fan. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition here, episode 24 here on the KSN podcast, the Kurt Social Network, and I'm your host, Kurt the Magnificent. We got another good episode coming up here tonight, this evening, with two guests coming on. One has been on before, and another one, it's a special one, is definitely family, and we're going to talk about some good things, some good topics that the world needs to know. I think a lot of people do know, but with these two people, I think they're going to really share some insight and their opinions on what we should all know in this world, as far as business and finance, and put it together with sports and even the culture for what's going on here in today's world. So my first guest I want to bring on, he's, like I said before, he's been on, and we'll get him on here first, and I'll shout him out. He has the Smarter Fan podcast. He's one of the co-hosts there. And I want to give him on and a big shout out and a great love from my good friend, Mr. Barry Nembhard. Let's give him in real quick.
Magnificent. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm well. I'm honored. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your show and for us to have a small part to encourage you to do your show. So it's so satisfying to see you in here being consistent, putting in the work. And I just wish you all the best and more episodes.
Appreciate that, Barry. Thank you. You know, I've been on your show before and I loved it. Made me get back and start mine as well. So, and if y'all haven't watched, please watch that Smarter Fan podcast. Really good with him and Joe Moore. Definitely a good show.
Thank you.
So
appreciate that.
My other guest is going to come on here. Like I said, his family, and this is dear to me because he knows about this stuff. And I know with him and Barry, they're going to get probably in debate, but really give us the info that we need to know. And this is my father right here. So please, y'all give a hand for Mr. Kurtis London, please. Yes. What's up, Pops?
Thank you very much. Hey, what's up, son? How you doing there? Love you more, love you more, love you more.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And you got Barry here as well.
Mr. Barry,
yes,
good evening. How you doing today?
I'm good, sir. How you doing?
Oh, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for this one. I was like waiting for chopping at the bit on this one. trying to get my together. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I'm loving this. I'm loving that my son is having a platform and you have a platform, and we all need to get that great information out there. Please, you know what I'm saying? It's what things that people don't want you to know.
Boy, you said a mouthful there. I just need to get off and let you talk because
I want to get into the questions, but before that, can we get a little brief history on each of you guys about of the finance, of what made you start getting the finance or the business part of it, with the sports or just in general. So I'll let you go first, Dad.
Well, thank you very much. I think probably one of the getting in it for it was watching you and Paris play basketball.
Paris is my sister, everyone.
And it's like, when they're growing up, they playing ball in these little leagues and this and that, and Dad, Mommy, I want these sneakers, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, Nike ain't giving us no doggone money. Saying like, yo, how we gonna do this? Oh, bingo. Why not buy the stock? If I got to buy the sneaker, buy the stock at the same time. That's one of the.
And what stock was it? Did you start it with?
It was Nike.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay $100 I'm gonna pay $100 for the shoes. Let me go spend $100 on the stock too at the same time.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the starts of it from way back. But other things was working around good people, being around very good people, and people that want to show you something, want to open your mind, want to make you think. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, you open your mind, making you think. And then when you move around, you be like, hold on, how are they doing this? How are they doing that? How are they doing this? How are they doing that? And you get hungry for information, and you know how they say, and then they said it, and that's what's that? My man, my partner, CFO, always says it. He says, "Riff, reading is fundamental."
Yeah.
I don't read a lot, but believe me, I read what I need to read. And Wall Street Journal was one of those papers, and the New York Times is one of those papers I love to read.
Yeah.
Can you tell us your business that you have?
Well, we run a small book, and what I mean by book, we run a small educational thing platform to help people get um into the market, basically, and how to put your money to work.
Mhm.
Also, build generational wealth, which you hear a lot of other people trying to do and stuff like that. But the thing is, every time I say this or talk to somebody, the first thing I hear is sometimes for some people they say, "I don't know what that is," or "How do I do it?" or "Do I have enough money?"
Mhm.
And when I got introduced to it way back, I think you were like 3. I was like, the guy told me, he says, all you need is $10. And that was it. That was it. But a lot of people don't understand that. But Wall Street always, in the beginning, Wall Street wanted you to think that you needed 5,000, 20,000 to get in. They
Mhm.
wanted you to think that, so that way that kept you out of the loop. And I would say, like going way back, and then going out. We go to church on 127th Street, Lenox Avenue, and there was a paper thing right on the corner. And every time I go get the New York Times, the gentleman would say, you probably one of the few black men that come over here and pick up that New York Times, my man." I said, "Well, I'm not gonna stop being that you said that."
The name
Because
of the name of the company that you're running right now. What is the name of it?
our company is called Black Wall Street.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I know there's
Barry,
a lot of Black Wall Streets out there, but it's called Black Wall Street. Okay.
thank you. Barry, can you give us your history on what made you start with finance or business? You wanted to
I,
really get into it or talk about it.
I don't know why I'm on this show. Your father is well equipped to talk about
We
everything you need to talk about on this show. Listen, I'm just sitting here enjoying him talking. All right. Let me stop.
I know I'm gonna get some nuggets out of this one. You look. I got my Charles Schwab pen out. All right, I got you.
Okay. There you go. My account followed me. My account
there,
followed me.
there we go. That's what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
I'm one of 7 boys, so all my brothers are older than me, and so everything in my life has come fast. I started driving at 11. Everything in my life has come early. Everything, and so I got to see a lot of things. I got to meet a lot of people. Friends. Sports was very big. Education was very big in our house. My mother was like, "Yeah, you can have sports, but I gotta have my grades. And without the grades, you don't get no sports." And so she was not gonna have any dumb athletes. And just growing up, you idolize your brothers and their friends and my oldest brother George White, I think back in '68 he ran track, and according to the article, he was 4th in the state in track,
Wow.
long
Wow.
distance.
Wow.
And so just going up and seeing all your brothers. I remember being a kid and actually seeing shoes mailed to my brothers who ran track and had no idea, but it was just cool to be a kid and seeing your brothers have. So when I look back and reflect on that, and then having the experience of playing in college and what that was like, friends of mine playing at big schools and bigger schools as well, and just kind of, I've always been a kind of connect the dots type of person, and always fascinated about money and making money and growing money, and then having friends in the league. the various leagues, NBA, Mario Elie, and other guys I knew, DJ Surhoff out of Rye, Major League Baseball, and other guys, and guys I knew who played in the NFL and stuff. And I went to school in New England, so some of my teammates not walked on, but some were drafted other places. Some at that time with the New England Patriots. So it was always around me, in some way or form or another. But I've always been interested in money, how money works, how things work. And, I had some opportunities early in my life to be involved in banking and the debit card and ethnic markets in New York. And, again, a New York Times guy as well, Financial Times guy. Just fascinated how money
sheet.
works.
The pink sheet.
The pink sheet. That's right, sir.
Yes, sir.
And how the world moves. And so, having that experience in sports, having the experience of being involved in banking and finance. I had friends on Wall Street. It just having a natural inkling about how things work. And it's never left me. It's only grown. And especially when we start talking about our people, and we're not new to Wall Street. A lot of people have been a part of Wall Street either on the block, being auctioned, or being traded, which people don't understand. But that's another history lesson. Black people have always been a part of finance in one capacity or another. Selling goods and services. This was an agrarian, capitalistic entity, global markets, whether it's the bodies of men or animals or crops or commodities. Finance is not something. I'm so glad to hear you're running a educational platform. We need more of those. But to answer your question, that's how I got involved in finance, and it hasn't left me. It's only grown. And there's a lot of reasons why I enjoy my podcast and getting it out there and talking to people. But giving them the angle on our program is kind of Smarter Fam. Business, life, and sports. Sports, business, and life. They all are one. They're all are one. And if you understand that, you can go a long, long way. So that's the brief part of it, Mr. Magnificent.
Thank you, Barry.
How long do we have for this show? Because we need at least 3, 4, 5.
We ain't gonna have all that. So we ain't having that.
Because we can kill
30, 25 minutes, but we can stretch it to 30. We stretch it to 30.
We can chop this up real well.
I know.
Really.
I know. I would like to talk about the business of sports and how the finances is a big impact with people. Yeah. And I want to get your take and opinions from each of y'all. So, Dad, I'll let you go first on that.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I really like to throw it to the other gentleman right now because I want to follow for his lead because being that I had a good conversation with him before, he's in depth a lot that I can say that I can pull from that.
So go ahead, Barry.
Thank
you. You the floor.
Thank you.
All right, now I still don't know why I'm here, but give me the question again.
Just talk about how the business in sports and how the finances has been a huge impact for the people currently right now. As far as people. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Well, let me give you a little timeline, right? Because this is the timeline I've lived. So, as a kid, 11 years old, 8 years old, 9, I saw sneakers come to the house, right? I didn't know nothing, right? And then I went then Converse became big because of Magic and Bird, right? Mm-hmm. Got to get my Converse, right? Then sneakers got bigger with Jordan, right?
Yeah.
He now took it to a global phenomenon, right? So it wasn't just U.S. and Converse, and then Nike became, we're talking about the 80s and 90s, and, when Nike really hit its stride, right? Which was started out of a guy's trunk at that time, running from track meets and hustling it and nobody knew who Nike was. Right?
Nike, you mean correctly?
Nike?
Yes. Talking about Nike?
Yeah,
Okay.
Nike is. They don't call them Nike
It's
anymore.
not. It's in Nike. That's what they say. Nike.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Okay. So Nike. So when we talking about the, your father said something early on. That's probably the most pivotal thing that could have been said. Because I remember having a conversation with one of my sister-in-laws. I don't even know how we got here talking about it, but I said to her at this time, and it was probably kind of in the middle of Michael's thing. I said, "Oh, I think it was because people were really getting on Michael because he wasn't leaning Democrat or Republican. He was leaning on green, and there were a lot of. So I'm in my early 20s, and so a lot of people in our community took offense to that, and I was kind of like, well, why, And his comment was, Republicans buy sneakers too. And so people were like, well, Perry, I said, no, you got to think about the statement. We as people sometimes get so emotional, and I understand. I understand. No, I'm not heartless, but I said, well, let's think about it this way. If 1,000 Black people, when they got their tax return, and let's say the average was $2,500, and they took $1,000 over a 10-year period and bought Nike stock from 1990 to 2000. They got $1,500 to spend, do whatever they want to do, but they just said, you know what? I'm gonna buy the stock. Do you understand? So those people would have been in position to increase their generational wealth, depending on how they did it. If they just did that, you ask most people at that time, what did you do between 1990 and 2000 with your tax return? They can't tell you. They can't tell you.
Right.
And I didn't even say all of it. I just said 1,000 of the 2,500.
Yeah.
So I said, my sister and I were talking, and she's like, what? I said, imagine if 1,000 people did that, of our people did that. 5, because at that time, folk were killing folks for Nikes.
Yeah.
They were shooting, robbing people, all kind of craziness.
Especially Jordans. Yes.
Especially Jordans, right? So I said, of 10,000, of 100,000 of our people did that.
Right.
You know how many people of our people moved from struggling to thriving to, oh, we good. We good. Oh, you going on, Junior, you going on to college? Okay, how much is it? Let me check this account. Okay, you covered for the next 4 years. I need them grades though.
Right. I agree with you on that one, Mr. Barry. I agree with you on that one. I want to pick up on that one. I'm gonna throw a couple of little things at you real fast.
Sure.
So quick synapse. I remember we had a family cookout way back. My grandmother, blah blah, everybody there. So you always got those big family cookouts, and you have your a couple of aunts and uncles. So we had this one uncle, and my grandmother looked over and says, "Oh, Black people sure make poor look good." I couldn't understand that. Later on, say, Grandma, why you say that? He says, he ain't got a dime in his pocket, but look how he dressed. He says, like, when that goes back to what we were talking about. We're not putting our money to work in the right places so we can benefit from it in the long run. Again, I remember so much jumping on the Metro North, going downtown, and you see who was reading the Wall Street Journal, who was reading New York Times, and then who was reading the Daily News and the Post. You kind of figured out what that was going to be. You know what I mean? But at the same time, sports, like you said, sports. Now, you got, like, say, Converse. I think what Converse was Dr. J?
Dr. J.
Dr. J, right? So that kind of put Converse on the map. Then afterwards, like you said, Nike goes on. But then you had so many other players and stuff like that. But at bottom line is going back to that sports, and really I wanted to run right into ownership. And
Okay.
when you run right into sports, here we got all these owners right now. It's called I would call it a pissing match. And it's like, okay, who's gonna buy the best team? Because right now people not really checking out. It's called sports business, and people should really check into these things.
Yeah.
And they check it out who teams cost the most and whose families are buying out this team, buying this team, or getting out of this team, getting into that team. And
Yep.
I remember the one of the best one that caught my attention way back. I think it was Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking to, it wasn't just him. I don't want to put him as on the spotlight. He was trying to buy the LA Dodgers. Did I say that correct? I want to make sure I'm right. And
Yeah.
at that time, the family, I don't know what's called, the Butt family, something like, I think it's called the Butt family.
Bush.
So they were selling the team, the Bush family. Okay,
Bush.
good.
But
Thank you.
Bus. Sorry.
But
Well, who are you going with? The
Butt
Dodgers?
family. Okay, thank you.
They with the Lakers.
Yeah, Dodgers. Right. So what the deal was, they didn't want to sell him the parking lot. And I was like, that was interesting. So I looked more into it, and I'm understanding like, oh, okay, you give him the team, so he's got to deal with the players, the merchants, the this, the that, the blah, blah, blah. But they knew the real money and the easy money, no problem money was in the parking lot. Because you got how many games in a basketball team? I mean, a basketball season?
Basketball or baseball you talking about?
Basketball. How many,
Oh, okay.
how many games? How
So
many
you have
games?
82. Well, 41 at home. 41 at home.
41 at home. Now, in between that, you got concerts, you got this, you got that, you got this, you got that. And I'm just using a small number. So the average parking lot ticket for the park your car is, I'm just using a number, $10, $20. So every event they were making, I think, close to $5 million, $7 million a game on a parking lot.
Yep.
So Magic really did get a good thing, but he didn't get the really, I would say, the cherry on top. But he did good. But it was just the point where I'm talking about the business and things like that. You know, when you know, we are trying to get into sports, and there are players and different things and politics that won't let us in. But like Mr. Barry just said, I think we are totally forgetting about, we were Wall Street. We were standing next to the cotton bale, and we're not pushing ourselves more to be part of Wall Street.
Now, you say that, right? So it's good. On the next topic we're going to talk about with the Wall Street stocks. Now, Barry, are you into the stocks?
Yeah, you didn't hear me mention
Yeah, I did, but I want to hear more, like, you know, about the stocks. Like, what made you really feel like you need to get into it, and how about our people, the middle and lower income class, should get involved in it?
Well, you asked some great questions. You really do. I saw a lot. I remember in high school, I had a teacher, Mr. Marks.
You with the Woodlands, right?
I went to Woodlands High School, Hartsdale. And Mr. Marks was a very interesting Caucasian, Jewish teacher, science teacher. Because he always had the latest stuff. Fresh Mercedes. He's the first one I ever saw with the brick cell phone.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yes. Sir.
I mean, to this day, as a grown man, I've never forgotten him. He was the first person to expose me to stocks. And if I would have paid a little bit more attention, or just been able better to connect the dots, I don't have an excuse. He was the one who opened my mind to the ability to take some money. Because when you buy a stock, you're really just buying a share of a company. That's what you're doing. Sometimes we've allowed ourselves to be psyched out by this false complexity. All you're doing is buying a share of stock. It's just like a good friend of yours, Magnificent, having a not. Let's say you grew up with a guy, right? All your life. He's 17, 18 years old, right? And he knows how to fix bikes and repair bikes, and people would come by and buy his bikes. And you said, you know what? I'm gonna take some of my money I'm hustling over here, working my job, and I'm gonna find some old bikes, give them to you, and we'll split the profit. You just bought a share in his company, right? It's really not that complex. I mean, it can become, but if we did things like that, you don't always have to have the idea. You can just observe, and say, hey, maybe I can get in there and fill a gap, get some equity, and flip some money. I literally grew up with a gentleman on my street, Duncan Dozier. And I remember as kids, 8, 9, 10, 11, he was the first one that actually created BMX bikes. Duncan could fix any bike. And you know the small bike you ride and do the tricks on?
Yes. Yeah.
Duncan Dozier. So when I'm in my 30s and BMX really comes out and you start seeing people doing the tricks on the wall, I was like, Duncan was doing that when I was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. See what I'm saying? So we really as a people really looked in our community, and people come into our community to steal ideas, come into our community and mimic things. People come into our community. And I'm not going to say this to, sometimes I got a lot of friends who are of different denominations and different faiths and so forth and so on. We sometimes find ourselves fighting against the wrong thing. Even at 92 years old, Andrew Young has said, I've heard him, it's on YouTube, I wish we definitely need to be about civil rights, but we would have gotten farther down the road if we were more focused on silver rights.
Silver rights. Yep, I heard that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you're right. You're right about that. One great thing I love about moving around, that how we did coming from Harlem, is I got to be around a lot of different cultural people. And I got along with a lot of different cultural people, and they influenced me in a lot of different ways, opened my mind to a lot of different things. So I never closed my mind to this culture, that culture, that culture. I'm like, wow, okay, like, it's great to take a little bit from everybody and put that into like a gumbo and just say, boom, that tastes good for me. I can go do this. And I will also say the financial thing should be a DNA in us, just like it is in other cultures.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm gonna take this back, like I'm take it back. I'm trying to keep this connected to sports and everything else. So like say the Knicks, basically back in the days, Clive was walking out with the fur coats. Blah, blah, blah. You had all the other players doing this, But at the same time, they were buying it from other people.
Yeah.
They wasn't buying it from our people. They were buying it from other people. And it wasn't us that owned those businesses. It was other people. And that was a big situation for us. There was a few of us that had opportunities, but not in the masses. And here we are with all this technology and everything else, like you're talking about. We should be more divested than ever these days. This thing right here.
Ooh, you mean that movie studio?
It's like as soon as you gave your child one, you should have bought the stock at the same time, because you remember you were paying the bill for the next 18 years, so however 16, whatever the case may be. But you get what I'm saying. And so sports is basically connected to this, is very connected to our DNA, but at the same time we need to take it out and pull other stuff out of it to make other things, like you said, Mr. Barry, in the beginning about us having businesses. The church was the first black business.
Thank you. Yes.
First black, but everything went through the church. Now, I can think of some ethnics right now. Everything still goes through those churches.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say we just go blah 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 and just go to the church. I'm just saying, but at the same time, that's how they built their wealth. And to this day, their wealth continues to grow. And again, we're going back to sports. They use their wealth to buy sports teams. because it goes in step by step by step by step. I ended up watching a segment the other day on Bloomberg, and Tracy McGrady was on it.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez was interviewing him,
Yeah.
and he was so powerful. I had to watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have never thought Tracy McGrady was in deep like that, because we see cats on the court,
Yeah.
but we don't see them out there.
Yep.
And only time we're going to see them out there is when the news want to put negative on it.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. And that's what we take in. And we need to stop that. We also need to say, no. We need what's the positive that this person is doing? And I know there's a lot of
That's our job.
that are doing positive, right?
That's our. I don't mean to cut you. That's our job.
Yeah.
We live in a unique time again to tell our own story.
Yes.
With this thing you held up.
Yes.
We need to tell our own story.
Yeah.
That's why when your son told me he wanted to do a podcast, I had nothing but positive thing to say. Right. I said we need at least 100,000 of us in this media ecosystem on some level. There's a lot of levels to this. Is it more than just being on the camera? Definitely. There's a lot.
Yeah.
On an opportunity.
You got John O'Brien talking about this, you know what I'm saying, trying to build this, and what's his name? Man? Nice gentleman. I went to see him at Burke. I think it was Burke University. I seen him, snuck away. Anyway, we need to. But the question, Kurt, about being invested, that should be part of our language, like anything else. And in my model, one of the things I always teach for people that want to talk to, like I want to get a talk and they want to listen to me. Every time you get paid, buy a stock. I don't care what you do. It's funny how you can go out, get paid, you go do this, but you forgot to do that. And that should be number one on the list. And I'm gonna say this: a woman get paid $200. She get her hair done, nails done, keep a car, keep food, keep a roof over the head. But you know what she that's gonna do? Grandma gonna make sure she got that stash. Got that stash all the time. And we should be buying the stocks to build our family's wealth and keep it that way.
Go on, sorry.
Because the Rockefellers ain't short of nothing. The Walmart family ain't short of nothing. I think I was reading again, the last grandchild of the Walmart family can never go through the money that they're making just on the dividends alone.
Yeah, that's a whole other game.
This is the knowledge that y'all are giving right now. It's just so much, and I know it's a lot more that we can do. And we're going to do another episode eventually. Again,
I hope so.
And we are. I want to talk about one quick topic before we go, because we got a few more minutes. The NBA,
the big three coming IPO. Is that the big three coming IPO?
I
just put that in there.
Yeah. The NBA with these trades, again, that's about marketing, financing, and business. And we've seen a lot of trades. We've seen with the Knicks, we've seen with the Sixers and the Celtics. Mm-hmm. The Knicks, Mitchell Robinson, Knicks couldn't hold on Mitch, so he's with the Celtics now because of the general manager and the team owner couldn't get over that second apron of money. And listen, he got us the championship. I'm grateful for Mitch, but he want that bag. And he couldn't get it from the Knicks, so he had to get it from the Celtics, which are our rival. Good luck. The Celtics and the Sixers, which did this trade with Paul George and Jaylen Brown, is first off, for the Celtics, I'm shocked at the team. I'm with Boston, what they're doing right now. You're giving up your best superstar player, who this year basically carried the team by himself 3/4 of the season before his partner Jason Tatum came back, and you didn't want to try to figure out a way to keep him. You didn't want to figure out a way to talk to him or solidify or get something together. No, you wanted to get him out of there, because I think Jaylen Brown is one that's He's straightforward. He speaks his mind. And to me, I think Boston probably don't like that. So you know what? Ship him off somewhere else. But you ship him off to the rival, Philadelphia 76ers, which I couldn't understand that. But again, I know it's a money thing. Do y'all agree?
Well, let me. I really want to say this is now that I've been updated a lot more than I've been really trying to get into this. I mean, a lot more. Okay, he was out there speaking, like I think y'all was saying, like out there talking about, trying to do better and different things and into communities and blah 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 blah. Right? Am I correct?
Yes.
So that brings me back to people in the past. That brings me back to Martin Luther King. That brings me back to Gandhi. That brings me back to Nelson Mandela. That brings me back to even people don't want to see you bring people together, especially people of color. If they see you bringing people of color together, you are a threat. I don't even think it's about the money. I think it's a threat. That's my opinion. But I do think a little bit of it is money. But when you got a person out there speaking and trying to get people to rise, not rise up, but just try to help the people build up. You're trying to build people up, like give them hopes, give them this and that, give them a step, give them that step. You got this guy out here right now talking about we're going to give everybody $1,000, for your newborn baby. Like, hold on now. Whoa. That should have been done automatically. Why you doing that now? Because you want to make sure you get the midterm and the elections or something like that. So I think this gentleman here, he did the right thing. You know what? Philly might be a better fit for him anyway. "Quote unquote brotherly love town," quote unquote.
Barry, your thoughts?
I don't know if you got enough time, but I'll try.
We got a couple minutes.
All right.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, it had nothing to do with you. No, you was talking the right thing. I think there comes a time when we have to have some, as you said, sir, you've been around a lot of people, and in those groups, no one moves solo but Black people. Economics is a team sport. Economics is a team sport. There are only what? How many? Less than 50 owners in the NBA? Less than 50 owners in the NFL? They're operating as a team. They may hate each other, but they know how to secure the bag because it's about the bag. And we tend to get
one thing in that. Did you hear about the Bob Iger and Kirshner trying to buy into the expansion team?
Yeah, well, I got to do. Okay. If you don't understand the capitalistic system,
right?
Assets allow you to leverage. It's simple as this, sir. You have your business. You have an asset. That asset is structured in a way to generate revenue. You can either. We don't even understand. We're not understanding. Let me put it that way. The power of having an asset and how to leverage and structure that asset that it pays me. And when I borrow money, I can borrow money against my asset. Let's go back to your example. So I've got $100,000. I've been saving up buying Nike stock for 20 years, right? Let's say I got $100,000 of Nike stock. The American system says I could sell it and get capital gains. I'm going to get a huge tax bite. Or I could go to UBS Bank and use my $100,000 of stock, listen to what I'm saying, and borrow.
Leverage against it. Yep.
Right? So the stock is going this way over time. I can borrow $50,000 of it, go buy me a 4-unit building. And do that over and over and over and over because I bought an asset.
Right.
See, we because we don't have the education like your father talked about, we're living hand to mouth when you don't have to live hand to mouth. But we don't. If you don't understand the system, then you don't know how to work the system, right?
Right.
So Elon Musk has been paying himself $1 in income. because revenue, income, and profits are not the same thing. But if no one educates our people to understand that, when Warren Buffett said 20 years ago, I pay less taxes than my $100,000 a year secretary.
Yeah.
And I think I'm like looking around people, it's like, ain't our people going to ask us, well, how is it? Why? How? Why? Exactly. But we've been programmed because of our experience and things we've been through to get that job, man. I got to get that job because 40s, 30s, 40s, it was about that. You know what I mean? Our parents go to school, get that good job. Yeah. Well, they didn't tell us the other side of it, which was about building. And not that we didn't, but we didn't talk about it as much as we needed to. How to build these assets, how to leverage these assets, how to buy the laundromat, the supermarket, the laundromat, supermarket, everything we consume that we use. Why aren't we owning part of it? The car wash.
A brownstone in Harlem.
Right?
$1.
Think about that.
Well, part 2. We're going to have to get a part 2 of this. We got to, because we run out of time. But I appreciate this information and knowledge that y'all have gave us. All right, Barry.
No, absolutely. Father, thank you. Thank you,
Kurt London. I really appreciate y'all guys. Thank you for coming on here on this podcast. And listen, we're going to have this again. And we're going to get more in depth. All right. So I appreciate you again, guys. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Shout out to SM Enlightenment Radio. Shout out to Doc P, for the engineers putting this together, helping me out as well. And this is the Kurt Social Network. This is the KSN podcast. And I'm your host, Kurt the Magnificent. Everyone, hope you enjoyed. Peace, love. You already know. Have a good night, y'all.
Number one fan, I'm your number one fan. Gotta understand, I got a plan. Go for what you want, might be what you thought. You gotta take a chance. Gotta understand, I'm your number one fan. Number one fan.
Awesome show, guys.
I hope I didn't mess it up.
No. That was a great discussion. It's like you got off to a little bit of a slow start, but once you guys got going, boy, it was.
Well, I try to stay on topic. I try.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. It was just long. I was like concerned how I'm going to play it on the radio.
I know.
But I mean, hey, it's